The first time I saw her car outside his office, it was raining. Not a dramatic storm, just a slow, patient drizzle, the kind that makes everything look blurred but never truly hides anything. I wasn't supposed to be there. She told me she had Pilates at 6. Her location said otherwise. His office lights were still on. 3rd floor, corner window. I knew because she once pointed it out during a charity gala. "That's where the real money moves," she'd said, smiling. Her car sat in the back lot. Engine cold. Wipers still wet. I didn't call her. I didn't storm upstairs. I watched. At 7:42 p.m., the lights went off. At 7:49, she walked out. Not hurried. Not ashamed. Calm. She adjusted her hair in the reflection of his glass door. He followed a minute later, locking up. His hand briefly resting on the small of her back. Not romantic. Familiar. That was the moment something inside me went silent. Not shattered. Silenced. Because I understood something with absolute clarity. This wasn't spontaneous. This was routine. She kept going. Every day, different excuses. Yoga, late client dinners, board meetings. His office lights became my clock. 6:12 p.m., 6:47 p.m., 7:03 p.m. I tracked nothing officially. No screenshots. No dramatic evidence board. Just patterns. Humans are creatures of habit. Liars most of all. One evening, she left her phone on the kitchen island while showering. It buzzed once. No name. Just a number. But the preview said, "Policy draft approved." We're close. Policy. I work in finance. I know that language. Insurance policy. 20 million. That number came 2 nights later. She said it casually while half asleep. They'll never question a claim that size if the paperwork's clean. She thought she was dreaming. I wasn't. That's when the affair stopped being personal. It became structural. They weren't just sleeping together. They were building something. A death on paper. A payout. A future funded by fraud. I lay beside her in the dark and listened to her breathe. The woman who once swore loyalty with trembling hands, now rehearsing my financial obituary. And I realized something uncomfortable. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was impressed. Until I understood the target. Me. I never confronted her. Confrontation is emotional. Emotion is inefficient. Instead, I adjusted. I asked about her day with soft curiosity. I kissed her forehead. I became predictable. She relaxed. Predictability breeds arrogance. I hired a forensic accountant under the guise of auditing one of my own subsidiaries. Quietly redirected the trail toward a shell company recently registered by her lover. Director him. Silent partner, hidden. But not well enough. I cross-referenced policy drafts with a major insurer. Large life insurance application. Recently increased coverage. My name. Beneficiary. My wife. The cause of death projections were subtle. High-risk investment travel. Remote site visits. Accidental structural collapse. Everything plausible. Everything staged. I requested the policy documentation through a contact who owed me a favor. The signatures were perfect. Too perfect. She'd been practicing my handwriting for years. Signing birthday cards. Holiday forms. Love makes you blind. Routine makes you vulnerable. I let weeks pass. I transferred certain assets into an irrevocable trust she couldn't access. I modified beneficiary structures quietly. I installed internal cameras in my office and informed my legal team to expect a corporate compliance scenario. They didn't ask questions. Money rarely does. Every night she lay beside me scrolling. Every morning she kissed me goodbye. And every afternoon she walked into his office to design my disappearance. I wondered sometimes if she hesitated, if guilt ever brushed against her spine. But when I saw security footage of them reviewing structural blueprints of a warehouse I was scheduled to inspect next month, I stopped wondering. This wasn't desperation. It was ambition. And ambition, when cornered, panics beautifully. The confirmation arrived in a thin envelope. Certified mail. Policy finalized. 20 million. Effective immediately. I placed it on the kitchen counter the following evening. She noticed it instantly. "What's that?" she asked too lightly. "Insurance," I replied. She smiled. "That's smart." I looked at her then. Really looked. The woman who memorized my coffee order. Who knew how I folded my shirts. Who now carried a secret heavy enough to bury me. "I met with the insurer today," I said calmly. Strange thing. They flagged irregularities in the application trail. Her fingers tightened around her wine glass. I don't know what you mean. I slid another envelope across the counter. Inside, copies of email exchanges, IP logs, payment transfers between her lover's shell company and a construction subcontractor. Silence. Then a whisper. You went through my phone? No, I said. I went through his. Her face drained. Not from guilt, from realization. They weren't untouchable. They were sloppy. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I simply explained. I've already submitted everything to the insurer's fraud division, I said. They're very interested. Her breathing became uneven. You're lying. I don't lie. The doorbell rang. Right on time. 2 investigators, polite, professional. They asked for her by name. She looked at me then. For mercy. For softness. For the man she thought she could manipulate. But that version of me had dissolved in a rain-soaked parking lot weeks ago. As they escorted her out, her lover called. I answered. Silence on the other end. Then, what did you do? I smiled slightly. I corrected the paperwork. By morning, his accounts were frozen. His firm under audit. The warehouse inspection? Canceled. The policy? Suspended pending criminal review. They built a perfect plan. They just forgot one variable. Me. The house is quiet now. Cleaner. I walk through rooms that once felt shared and realize they were staged long, before I understood the script. Friends ask if I'm okay. I say yes. Because I am. Betrayal didn't break me. It clarified me. She wanted freedom funded by my death. Instead, she'll spend years explaining intent in a courtroom. I never raised my voice. Never lifted a hand. I only moved pieces on a board they didn't realize I was watching. Some people think revenge is loud, explosive, messy. It isn't. It's patient. It's precise. And when done correctly, it doesn't feel like rage. It feels like balance restored. I don't hate her. Hate is attachment, and I've already let go.